I once knew a poet from Saskatchewan. In Saskatchewan, this is how every story begins. On his deathbed, he told me he'd had a good life. There, in the colonies, a bard could still get a drink for a pun. But the metaphors had been thoroughly picked over. Happily, they still had an ear for a rhyme. The truth, he once told me, is in the long dead winters where we live. Life is a sickness, he said. I will go to India, or was it Peru? There, on the edge of impossible cities, I will be nobody's son. The truth will fly out of my mouth as I listen to the sound of the ancients dreaming backwards. Then he explained that the next best English novelist will be from Mumbai. His grammar will be impeccable, he said, but in Exeter, they know he will be more diligent than able. After the Second World War, we needed to contain Chinese expansion. Social change is contagious and sufficient to establish intent. Countries were falling like dominoes. We needed to protect the people of Indochina from the governments they were electing. In Vietnam, we learned that it is difficult to dislodge an administration from its constituency so long as the constituency continues to exist. What's good for Texas is good for the world. In Russia, they're thinking of Stalin again since Gorbachev tore down the wall. Eastern Europe is the new Trojan horse from which Texas will dismantle the region. Free at last, free at last. Who needs the Mexicans now that we have the Ukrainians? These days, ritual murder will not secure the harvest. It will do nothing to rouse the queen's uterus. It has never kept our enemies at bay. The two criteria of a legitimate target are that it be defenseless and that they have something we want. After we defeated Hitler, we kicked the French out of the Middle East and sent them to Africa. In 1951, Japan was made to pay reparations for their war of aggression against China. The check was made payable to Texas. 50 years later, the same treaty was used to protect American subsidiaries against the lawsuits from Asian victims of Japanese fascism. Texas's favorite countries are a little bigger than a bread box. International law is there to be broken, errant numbers and random skin. We will teach you to torture your own.